also turn on the cut lines. How that one was going to work. This will actually show me the pass that cutter is going to take. And now if I rotate this thing down this direction, can you see how this thing has got different steps?
Mm-hmm.
I can actually look at that thing and see exactly how the bit's going to go in there. And this works a lot easier with a mouse rather than this touchpad too. But I can turn those on and off.
I see how them guys cut out them rims now on them solid shells.
All right, this one here is going to show how this is going to go. It's set off on the inside of this thing, but this is going to put the profile because I have to offset it to start with. Then I tell this to preview this tool path. And it doesn't hardly show me anything on this thing. If I offset it again further out to the side, it will show up because I'm cheating the machine. Normally your bit, the normal bit you wouldn't use, you'd be starting from the center line to your curve. If you had if you bought the regular bits that would go through there. But I cheated. I decided to make one out of a bit I already had. So I cheated the machine again.
Lost me on that.
All right. If I was going to do a normal, if I went out and bought a $40 round over bit, it would start off from the very center line. This part here would start from the center.
Okay.
All right. But I made up a thing for the machine as I'm using a new bit.
Okay.
All right. But it doesn't. You don't want to start this on the center line because I would be cutting a flat spots. Plus, I'd have a hole stuck in the middle where this would go to. So I have to offset this thing 1/4 of an inch. In order to get from the center, there's a 1/4 inch difference from the center to where this cut starts out here. So I'm offsetting. So it doesn't show up on there. But it does when you make your passes on here. If I have it set up, when I first did it on there, I had it set up and this is what it did. You can see where my bit came down into here to make my cut. And I was actually cutting a shoulder on here, which I didn't want to do. Can you see that? Now this thing actually cut a shoulder. I didn't want that. I only wanted that part of the bit to come off to the side. Well, here, you hold this in here, you can see how I had to offset. Where I told the machine to offset it at. But anyhow, that's how you can do the thing. And then when you get done with it, if I tell this to close, this tells me that that cutter is going to be going 0.375, which is 3/8 of an inch, deep. I had to do that again, let me see that a second, because this piece right here sticks down 1/8 of an inch. From this piece here sticks down 1/8 from where the cutter starts. So I want to go down 1/4 of an inch, but I had to tell the machine to go 3/8 so I could get past where this was at. Because when I zeroed it out, that's what was touching the board. That was my zero spot. Mm-hmm. So I had to tell it to go 3/8 in order to get this to go down 1/4 of an inch.
And that's using your bit.
Yeah, that was using my bit. All right. On this other one, I go to this pocket. This tells me that I went in 0.62, which is 5/8 of an inch. This also gives me a rough idea of how long this thing is going to take to run this thing. If I go to, where's my time?
That's too smart.
Estimated machining time. To do the pocket is going to take 9 minutes. If I want to find the profile, I go again, go to it. And that says 9 minutes, but it sure doesn't take that long to do that thing. Oh, that's giving me the total times, that's what it's doing. Oh, okay, there. 1 minute and 34 seconds to do the profile round, because it does it in 3 different steps. It's not going down and doing it all at one time, it's doing 3 different steps as it goes around. But it gives me my machining time, or a pretty good estimate of how long it's going to take to do the machining on it. Now, let's go back to this thing here. I'm going to start off with a brand new nothing. and show you how easy this is. Alright, this right here tells me my width and my height. The width is going this way on the x-axis, the length is going this way on the y-axis. And this right now is set up for a 10 by 10, it's going to be a 1/2 inch thick. Let's make this 1 inch thick. Alright, I want my 0 point on my axis to start off from the top face of the board. I can also set it to start off from my machine height. And it would program itself everything from there for knowing how far I want to go into the board. But you're better off to start off from the surface of your material. Just in case you've got variables someplace, you're better off to start off from the surface of the material. But I can tell it to go from there or go from this bottom part down here. I can also tell this where to start on my pattern. On a corner or dead center. It's easy just to set it up on a corner, or you have a dot where you want to start it off from, because you got to line it up out there. So that's what this right here is. This is telling me that I'm going to be starting it off on this corner right down here, my lower left corner. And I can do this in metric or inches, either one. Alright, now that I've got a blank screen, this is my 10 by 10 blank screen. This is the size of my board. If I want to put a box in there, a square, I click on this and I can tell this how big I want to make it. Let's say we want to have a 5 by 5 box, a square, and I'll tell it to create it. And it just made me a square. That's that fast. Alright. Oops. Yeah. Okay. Now let's get this in all the way back to the final size. Alright. I want to get this to... If I don't like that, I can come over here and click on this. I highlight it. I can go back to my box and I can change that. Say I only want a 3 by 5. And it just redid my box for me. Oh, I got this backwards. Hold on. That's my ankle point. Got that backwards. So here's my little box over here. I can take this thing here really easy if I want to center that in there. I've got some controls that say, center the box for me. You know, center it up into my board. I don't have to do any figuring. I just say, center it up for me. Alright. Alright, let's say you were going to start off with something like